In recent days, fighting for the Ukrainian-held town of Bakhmut has become a focal point of Russia's nearly year-long war against its democratic neighbor. In the previous battle, a disproportionate share of the fighting and death on the Russian side was none other than Wagner's group. Mortar artillery of the State Border Guard Service of Ukraine, firing with its aerial reconnaissance, destroyed 4 groups of Wagner mercenaries in the Bakhmut area. The DPSU press service reported this today on its Facebook page. It was indicated that enemy attacks in and near the city continued, and mortar fire did not always help to avoid close combat. From 24 February 2022 to 13 February 2023, the Ukrainian Defense Forces eliminated around 138,340 Russian aggressors, while on the previous day it was 560 people. As reported by Ukrinform, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine announced this on Facebook. The head of Russian mercenary group Wagner said on Sunday that it had captured the village of Krasnohora, on the northern edge of the embattled town of Bakhmut in the Donetsk region. The U.S. think tank, the Institute for the Study of War, said geolocation footage showed Russian troops had captured at least part of the village, according to its latest intelligence report. However, these claims have not been independently verified. It came as the Ukrainian military maintained its defenses along the front line in the surrounding region despite fresh attacks over the weekend. According to Ukrainian data, highlighted by the UK, the 824 Russian losses per day are more than 4 times the figures reported in June and July, when around 172 Russian soldiers were killed daily. The Ukrainian military has claimed 137,780 Russian military deaths since the full-scale invasion began. Russian troops have made little progress in Ukraine since they withdrew from the major southern city of Kherson last November. Russia has stepped up its offensive on other frontline areas in the Donbass region to the east and to the south. Ukrainian officials say new Russian attacks are underway, but the battle of attrition for Bakhmut could tire the Russians, according to Victor, a Ukrainian commander. Russian troops also carry out 167 raids and 41 skirmishes on the town of Bakhmut, which they have been trying to take for more than 6 months. This was announced by the spokesman for the Eastern Group of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Serhiy Cherevety, Ukrinform's report correspondent. Cherevety noted, "The main direction of the enemy's attack remained on the Bakhmut front. There, the enemy hit the entire front 167 times with various types of barrel-propelled artillery. There were 41 skirmishes, during which the enemy lost 212 soldiers killed and 315 wounded." Major area of concern for the enemy was the Lyman direction, Luhansk region, where for several days in a row the enemy set a record for being hit by artillery fire. Russian forces have suffered significant equipment losses over the past few days, including a T-72 tank, 1 Tiger armored car, tulip mortars, and 2 Pion self-propelled guns. During the week from 6 to 12 February, the Ukrainian Defense Forces destroyed an estimated 6,490 enemy personnel, 399 units of weapons and military equipment. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine noted that despite significant losses, the invaders did not give up their intention to enter the administrative borders of the Donetsk and Luhansk regions, focusing their main efforts on conducting offensive actions on Kupian, Lyman, Bakhmut, Avdiivka direction, and Novopavlov. On February 13, the General Staff of the Armed Forces announced that the Russian Federation had sent 200 Russian guardsmen to the occupied Kherson region. Meanwhile, over the past day, Ukrainian Defense Forces aviation carried out 8 sorties on the area where the invaders were concentrated, as well as 3 sorties on the positions of anti-aircraft missile systems. And our rocket launchers and gunners hit 10 areas of concentration of manpower. 1 position of anti-aircraft defense, and 3 ammunition depots of the enemy. The Ukrainian armed forces have also destroyed the command post of the Russian invaders' Vostok battalion with a high-precision projectile from the HIMARS multiple-launch rocket system near Vuhledar in the Donetsk region. This was reported from the Telegram channel Operational ZSU, referring to the data of officers which stated that as a result only 1 officer died, and the headquarters had to be moved to a reserve command post. We will remind you that near Vuhledar, the Ukrainian military over the past week has dealt several crushing blows to the enemy, as a result of which the enemy has suffered heavy losses in equipment and manpower. According to the data of military experts and the authoritative compiler of the Frontline map, Deep State, the front line in the direction of Vuhledar has stabilized in recent days. The Russian army, on the other hand, suffered a series of humiliating setbacks in the autumn when the Ukrainian military successfully launched counteroffensives to recapture large swaths of territory to the east and south. Last week, Ukraine's outgoing defense minister, Oleksiy Reznikov, said they were anticipating a new Russian offensive. For now, Ukraine is seeing sluggish progress from the Russian offensive with heavy casualties. This created a scorched earth zone in eastern Ukraine as the battle lines were areas now impossible for people to live in. This is why Ukraine calls Russian aggression a genocide against the Ukrainian nation, because Russian terrorists kill Ukrainian people or completely destroy their cities and homes, making further life in the war zone impossible. In recent days, there has been additional information that Russian terrorists are planning to use their private military companies, such as the Wagner Group, to destabilize other European countries. For example, Ukrainian intelligence shared with the Moldovan government about Russian plans to attack its stability. On the other hand, there is information that Russian mercenaries from the Wagner Group are planning to use them to instigate a new conflict in the Balkans. Russia may also be recruiting Kurdish mercenaries for its war in Ukraine. Ukrainian military intelligence on February 12 published fragments of a conversation in Kurdish between 2 drone operators located in Russian-controlled Ukraine 2 days earlier, when they carried out a missile attack on Ukraine. Russia has previously recruited Kurdish fighters for operations in Syria.